Hi, everybody. Welcome to 30 minutes of wisdom, rising consciousness, and mindfulness. I'm Daniela Mattos, a Kundalini Yoga and Meditation teacher, author of the book Satnam Becoming Your Own Guru, and former Wall Street investor. So, just to give a little bit of background before we jump into our conversation of today, I just want to let you know that I understand how it is to be seated in a computer for long, long hours, how it is to have a very stressful life, because I too work for over 10 years, about 12 years in the financial markets in New York City. I work at Bloomberg, I work at JP Morgan in a sales trading desk, so I understand. And not until very long ago, that was my reality too. Many things happened and I changed. I had to change. I didn't really have the choice. That's how I felt. And with that change, I feel almost I was reborn and I found Kundalini Yoga. Now, for those that don't know Kundalini Yoga, another name is Yoga of Awareness. Yoga means union, your mind, body, and soul. And I wasn't aware of all those three parts of myself either. But through Kundalini Yoga, through the practices, I became more aware in many aspects of my life, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And as a result, I live much better. So every third Friday of the month, I will be here with you, sharing tips of practical tools that you can do in your everyday that will allow you to expand, to become more aware of your physical body, your emotional body, of your mind and soul. And why is this important nowadays, especially? Because as our lives get more and more stressful, if we start understanding and realizing the signs our body give us, we will be able to, okay, it's time to stop. Okay, it's time for me to take a walk. Okay, let me sit down, close my eyes, and just breathe long and deep. 9 out of 10 people do not know how to breathe. A shallow breath will make you more anxious. A shallow breath does not allow your body to heal itself. Because yes, a body that is in balance will heal itself. The reason we have a society that is so sick, one of the reasons is because we are not into that balance. And if you practice, you will start noticing the signs your body gives before the moment that you just explode, before the moment that you can take not a single phone call or email anymore. So I will be here every third Friday of the month, bringing for you some exercise that is easy for you enough to do it, perhaps even seated on a chair, in your desk. But as Veronica pointed out in the post for today, and was a little bit last minute, so for that we apologize. We're gonna talk about the full moon and the eclipse that is happening next week, next Wednesday, okay, the 26th of May. Now you may say, ooh, this is astrology, this is a pseudoscience. And I tell you, I know, I thought like that as well. I have a degree in biotechnology. I graduated in 2004, just a few years into the completion of the Human Genome Project. I was, all about science and all these amazing discoveries, which they are amazing. I'm not discrediting. But for most of my life, and I come from a family where there are a lot of doctors, so for most of my life, I would look at astrology and I would be like, oh yeah, whatever, I honestly didn't even know my sign until I start practicing yoga, okay? Because I'm born between, right where we call the cusp, in the day that the signs change. So for most of my life, I thought I was Sagittarius, but guess what? I'm not. I'm a Capricorn. But I didn't know that for a long time. Well, before we go to the impact that next week's event will have in every single of us and in the collective, I want to help you to expand a little bit your mind regarding astrology. And I'm going to start by talking about astronomy, okay? Which studies the matter and the phenomena of the universe. Is the study, that's their focus, right? That's what astronomers do. So in 2012, you may remember, okay, that there were a bunch of movies talking about the end of the world, right? Because there was that, oh, the Mayan calendar says that the end of the world is December 21st, 2012. And there was even a movie about that, I believe. So let me explain a little bit what happened that year from an astrological and astronomic perspective. So there is a cycle that happens every 26,000 years. So every 26,000 years, the Earth, the rotating center of the Earth, okay, aligns. From a perspective, it aligns with the galactic equator, okay, which is like is the perception that we have that is the center of our galaxy. So it's when there is this alignment between Earth and this galactic center, and it happened the last time in 2012. That means the whole 26,000 year cycle will start again, okay, after a period of transition, which we are going through right now. And I guess, given the situation that we are in, it feels like a big transition, right? Now, this is a very basic concept in astronomy, okay? In order to understand this phenomenon that happens, we need to know a few things. We need to know that the Earth is round. We need to know that the Earth goes around the sun. And we need to know the position of the sun in the Milky Way, in our galaxy, right? So we need to know these things in order to know this cycle of 26,000 years. And this is very basic for whoever studies astronomy. But do you know who also knows about these cycles? The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Druids, the Egyptians, the Indians, the Native Americans, and many more ancient civilizations that happened to exist in planet Earth thousands of years ago. They also knew about this cycle of 26,000 years. Now, if we bring into perspective, on the 1500s, so just a few hundred years ago, Galileo, one of the fathers of modern science, was in house arrest. He was put in house arrest by the Pope because he committed heresy by saying that the Earth goes around the sun and not the other way around. Those events in the 1500s are considered the birth of modern science as we know it today. But yet, all those ancient civilizations already knew that this cycle occurs. So somewhere along the line, we lost some knowledge. We lost some knowledge in the way, right? Because if just a few hundred years ago, we didn't even know the Earth was round, but yet all those other civilizations have known for thousands of years that this cycle happens, something happened that this knowledge got lost. right? The Vedas for yoga, for instance, talks about the influences of the stars and planets in ourselves, in our bodies, and in our collective, and the collective mind. In Kundalini Yoga, for instance, we have practices to connect to Jupiter, to Saturn, to improve communication by practicing, your connection to Mercury, which is the planet of communication in astrology. And that is very simple. All you need to do is touch your pinky with your thumb and you're already working communication with Mercury, right? Because actually our hand is connected to the planets, at least to a few of them, not all, but a few of them. So yoga, it is connected to astrology, has always been, because we individually are not just floating in a limbo. We are connected to the planet Earth, which it is connected to the universe. So we also know, and practical matters, that the moon influences our bodies, like the tides, right? The ocean tides, high tide, low tide. And our bodies are actually made of water. So in yoga, we talk a lot about the moon, the importance of a full moon, because it does affect our being, especially our mind, because we are made of water. And the sun has obviously effects that we know, the season, the equinox, the solstice, right? So ignoring astrology, it's actually ignoring a part of ourselves. And understanding astrology is actually channeling an energy in our favor. So if we know the next week we're going to have an eclipse, right? And it's going to be a total lunar eclipse, okay? So it means it's going to happen in a full moon. And the moon, it is connected to our emotions because it's connected to the water, and water is connected to emotions. So why not to prepare for an emotionally intense week ahead? In fact, we have probably been feeling for the past week or so, I know I have, but in case you haven't noticed, the past 2 weeks, probably a little less than 2 weeks, have already been intense, and the upcoming weeks will be very intense as well, because the effects of an eclipse does last for some time. Okay? So I just want to help you and just want to give you some tools so you can use it in your everyday. Take a few minutes, perhaps during lunch, before you actually have your lunch, to connect to this energy and have a week where perhaps you go with the flow of these events rather than against the flow. Right? That's the main idea. So what can we do? What can we do today? So full moons, just so you know, this eclipse will be in the sign of Sagittarius. So the invitation here, I would say the main message of the next week's eclipse is to expand our mind, to let it go beliefs and limiting beliefs, okay, that restrain us, okay, that limit us, that are not allowing us to expand. So what we're going to do, okay, we're going to do a quick warm-up, and then we're going to do a breathing exercise, which the main, it's called Pranayam, which the main thing is to help you to calm down. It's a calming breathing pattern because it's a segmented breath, okay? And that will help you to let go, which is the main theme of this eclipse. So I suggest you to sit, okay, with the spine straight, tuck the chin in, okay? You can rub the palms of your hands in front, Rub, rub, rub. Bring it in front of your chest in prayer pose. Since we are doing a very quick exercise, we're just going to take 3 long, deep breaths through the nose. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Mentally tell yourself that you're going to connect to your essence, to your soul, to the cosmos, and that your mind will take the back seat, will not be in charge right now. Inhale again. Exhale. Inhale one more time. Exhale. Okay, so now we are connected. Rest your hands on your lap, okay? So if you are in a chair, just put your hands flat, palms open in your lap. Inhale and tilt the pelvis to the front, okay? Open the chest. Exhale, back. This is called spinal flex. The head, try to keep it not moving, okay? And you're gonna inhale and exhale and do this movement, okay? And you can close your eyes and just listen to the sound of your breath. As you inhale, go forward. Exhale, go backward. Make sure your breath goes all the way to the belly button. You don't want to do a shallow breath, okay? All the way to the belly button. As you do this breath, listen in your breath, the sound it makes as you inhale and exhale. Inhale, spine straight. Pause, exhale. Now, just make sure around you there's nothing that you can, hurt yourself, because you're going to twist to the left and inhale through your nose, twist it to the right, exhale through your nose. So you have 4 fingers in the front, thumb in the back. Inhale and exhale. Eyes closed and focus on the point between your eyebrow. Okay? Listen to your breath as you do the exercise. Inhale, come to center. Pause. Exhale completely. Lower your arms. And we can do a quick rotation of the neck. So just inhale as you go forward. Exhale as you go back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Change direction. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Forgot to mention a detail that I think is very important. Each event affects us differently. And the reason is because when we are born, we receive an energetic blueprint of how the planets were positioned at the moment of our first breath. That is stored in our cells, in fact, in the DNA. So as we go through all those events, each and every single one of us will have an individual experience. So that's very important to remember. So we're going to connect the index finger, also called Jupiter finger, okay? And we're going to rest in our leg. You can, in your thighs. Keep the spine straight, tuck the chin in. And you're going to inhale and exhale through the nose. The eyes will be closed, focus on the point between your eyebrow. And we're gonna do for about 3 minutes a segmented breath. So in the inhale, you're gonna inhale in 4 parts. So it's gonna be like, and you're gonna exhale in 8 parts. If it is too challenging, make those segmented very, very short, okay? But try to make 8 in the exhale, 4 in the inhale. If you cannot by any chance, you can decrease it, but make sure the exhale is more times, is a greater number than the inhale, because we want to have the exhale to be more times because we are letting it go. That's the theme of this eclipse, right? Letting it go of limiting beliefs, right? That do not allow us to expand. So we're gonna do for a few minutes, okay? So eyes closed, focus on the point between your eyebrow. Inhale in 4 parts, exhale in 8 parts. And let's go. Continue inhaling in 4 parts, exhaling in 8 parts. We have a few more minutes. Make sure you inhale all the way to the belly button, right? So you use your entire lung. Inhale. Exhale completely. Bring the hands in front of the chest in prayer pose. And one inhale through the nose. One exhale through the nose. So this very simple sequence, it's great to do it every day, but especially next week. The first 30 days after the eclipse happen are usually the most energized. And I know everybody's busy and you forget, but to the moment, whenever you feel that you're finding hard to keep your balance, just go back to your breath. Do the segmented breath, 4 and inhaling 4, exhaling in 8, letting it go. Okay? As humans, we always have that. It's natural for us to want to keep control of everything. But when you go to the breath, you realize that the breath is all you need at a present moment. So at the times that you are very stressed, anxious, go to your breath. Do this segmented breath, recognize that everything you need is right there, right now. Okay, this breath will help you to let it go. This full moon and this eclipse will have this energy will be forced upon you, even if you're not aware of it. But I would like to end and leave you with a message that you are prepared for whatever is coming next, because you sign up for it. You requested to be here at this moment in the evolution of consciousness. You have the tools to deal with it. And additionally, in this eclipse, it will be making an aspect, which is like an angle in astrology, with Neptune, which is the planet of spirituality. Okay, so as things become perhaps overwhelming, remember that as you connect to your breath, you connect also to your soul. And that connection is what you need to keep going, to continue in this journey, even though sometimes it might be overwhelming and you feel like lost. Connect to your breath, connect to your essence, and you will find the strength to keep going, because we have all been made for this exact moment in time. So once again, I will see you next month. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, if you want to understand a little bit more about the exercise. It's a pleasure to be here and help you through this journey. Sat Nam.